Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection.
These guys are hungry for more. They want to build a dynasty here.
Believe in each other. Fly around. Let's find a way to win.
And he's going to be hit. Chris Jones got him in a bear hug. Pacheco blasts into the end zone at the 10-5. Leap to the end zone. Touchdown.
The Chiefs enjoyed a well-deserved break last weekend after securing a huge victory in Germany. And now atop the AFC standings through 10 weeks, they'll aim to keep that momentum going here tonight against the Philadelphia Eagles in a rematch of Super Bowl 57. We are 2 hours from kickoff. You've waited more than 2 weeks for this very moment. It's finally here. It is time for football in Chiefs Kingdom. Let's do this. My name is Matt McMullen, joined by voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus. This is Field Pass presented by StorageMart. And Mitch, feels like the Chiefs haven't played a game in forever, but what better way to kick off the second half of the season than a Super Bowl rematch on Monday Night Football?
It's only my 30th year as the voice of the Chiefs, but I don't think I've ever seen a time where the league did 2 complete laps where we didn't play. Not only having the bye week, but playing Monday night after the bye. So it's been interesting, but the Chiefs have actually gained ground by not playing. It's like you're in a pit stop in NASCAR and the other cars wreck while you're in the pits and you come back out in first place. But with the soggy elements, big game tonight.
Yeah, if you can't tell, it's currently raining. We're powering through this. Our notes are just pulling apart here, but we're going to power through this. It's no big deal. You mentioned how the standings helped us out over the last couple weeks. Right now at 7-2, the Chiefs have the fewest losses of any team in the AFC, and a major reason behind that is the performance of the defense this year. Through 10 weeks, the Chiefs have allowed the fewest offensive points of any team in the NFL, only 134 allowed. They've allowed the fewest plays of 20 or more yards in the NFL, only 24. No big plays against this defense, and their 31 sacks, ranked 3rd in the NFL. This defense has been nothing short of outstanding. It's maybe the best defense in all of the NFL.
And the best defense the Chiefs have seen in a generation in the kingdom. The fact, too, that they have played Justin Jefferson, they played Tyreek Hill, they're going to play A.J. Brown tonight. It's not like this has been an easy schedule. And this defense is getting it done at all 3 levels. That's the other impressive thing. It's not just the secondary, it's not just the front, it's not just the linebackers, it's all of them. This Chiefs defense is legit. Better, much better in my opinion than the defense the Eagles faced in Super Bowl 57.
Well, that's a good segue. The rookies on this defense helped us win a Super Bowl last year, but one thing we talked about all summer is if those rookies can take that next step, this defense could be really special, and we're seeing that this year. I mean, look at George Karlaftis this season. He has 44 pressures. That's 11th in the NFL, and his 6 sacks lead the team and match his season total from all of last year, and it's only Week 11. How about Trent McDuffie? He leads the NFL in forced fumbles with 4. He's also the number 8 ranked cornerback on Pro Football Focus through Week 10. He's been a superstar. Leo Chanel, a player we don't talk nearly about enough. He has 9 pressures and 3 sacks on 31 pass rushing snaps. How about that efficiency as a pass rusher? Then Brian Cook 2 weeks ago, one of the plays of the season. Again, we knew these guys were good last year, but they've been so good this season. It's a big reason why this defense has been so outstanding.
And Chanel leads this team in special teams tackles. He's been outstanding on special teams. In fact, Dave Tobe mentioned him this week during the news conference. McDuffie, though, is the guy that has risen the fastest and the strongest. And Karlaftis is right behind him. But McDuffie's 4 forced fumbles tied for the league lead. But if you look at who he's tied with, they're all pass rushers, the ones that get the hack out when the quarterback is standing exposed. Not with McDuffie. He's been able to make all 4 of his forced fumbles on tackles of guys up the field. That makes it doubly impressive with what Trent McDuffie has done. He's an emerging superstar.
Yeah, he's been great, and really this defense overall has been awesome. The pass rush is part of that as well. 13 different players have at least a half sack for Kansas City this year, second most of any team in the NFL. And they'll have their chances here tonight against Jalen Hurts and this Philadelphia offense. That's because Hurts loves to hold on to the football. Now, it's part of what makes him so effective, but he is the second longest average time to throw in the NFL this year at 3.14 seconds. Only Russell Wilson holds on to the ball longer than Jalen Hurts does. A stark contrast to what we saw 2 weeks ago with Tua Tagovailoa of the Dolphins. He is the fastest average time to throw in the NFL. Very difficult difficult to rush a passer like that. The Chiefs will have their chances here tonight against Jalen Hurts, but they got to finish when they have them.
And they have to stop the run to begin with it, because this is an efficient Eagles team. We'll get into that in a second. But if you don't stop the run, it doesn't matter. But the cool thing about this Chiefs defensive front, all those guys that you mentioned, and Mike Dana, again, might be the most underrated guy. This whole team. Charles Omenihu. The Eagles did not see Charles Omenihu in Super Bowl 57. They are all willing run defenders, including Chris Jones. They will all know that they must stop Jalen Hurts in the run game first to get that opportunity, because the Eagles love to stay on schedule on first down and avoid a sack situation, because they're a good play action team.
Well, let's talk about that, because this Philadelphia offense is maybe the most efficient in the NFL, and really the best way to sum these guys up is they play a ball control style of football. Again, it couldn't be more different than what we saw a few weeks ago with Miami. Those guys are all about big plays, lightning quick strike. They want to score in less than 4 plays. That's not Philadelphia. Philadelphia wants to methodically move down the field and chew up clock. How about these numbers? They have the most scoring drives of 10 or more plays in the NFL this year with 21. They have the second longest average time of possession of any team in the league this season at 33 minutes and 26 seconds. And by doing that, they limit the opportunities of the opposition. They've only faced 91 opponent drives this year, fewest of any team in the NFL. They love to find a methodical rhythm. They love to stay on schedule. The Chiefs have to break that rhythm here tonight.
They must stay on schedule. They're an on-schedule team. Taking it a little bit further, they have 93 drives themselves, but they've scored on 48.7% of those drives, by far number one in the NFL. Chiefs are pretty good, but they're at 41%. So what do? 10-play drives, they're second in the league to Dallas. 5-minute drives, they're first in the league. They take it, they get a touchdown. And now all of a sudden, it's like you're playing a board game with your buddies, and your buddies always dictate the terms. And we've around some of those kind of people, but it's always on there. They're always going to make the rules. The Eagles always make the rules. If you can get them in a position where they're not making the rules, they get uncomfortable in a hurry.
And they have weapons everywhere on this offense, the biggest of which is, of course, wide receiver A.J. Brown. He has the second most receiving yards in the NFL right now, over 1,000 receiving yards already. I feel like this young Chiefs secondary has passed a lot of tough tasks this season so far, with a lot of great number one receivers against them. Another tough test, though, in A.J. Brown.
Yeah, and he's thrived in this offense, so he gets a lot of play-action opportunities. I was talking to someone who scouted him a lot that said he runs almost every route as an option route. So why he's so effective is you don't know what he's going to run, but he's on such a good wavelength with Jalen Hurts that it could be an in, it could be an out, but you don't necessarily know, very much like Kelsey is for the Chiefs. And so that's what has made A.J. Brown so effective. But I know we're going to get into it in the injuries, but the fact that Goddard is not playing tonight,
big deal,
does give you a chance to shade another guy to A.J. Brown's side. Normally you can't do that when you've got Goddard out there and you must play the run. But A.J. Brown, it'd be helpful if you can get some double coverage on him, or at least 1.5 man coverage on him. Not easy to do when you have to deal with Goddard in the run game, but you don't have to deal with Goddard tonight.
I feel like we're like human sponges right now. We're wearing like cold weather gear.
I love it. So that if you see Matt, when he turns, it's streaming off his nose.
Yes.
Mine is probably doing the same. That's not a hanger, people. It's not a hanger. It's rain.
We're going to talk about this Eagles defense here in a moment. But first, this Chiefs offense, of course, we're looking for maybe some more consistency this season, but they have done a lot of good things. And for more on what to expect from the Chiefs offense here tonight, I caught up with Scott Van Pelt from ESPN earlier this week. All right, we're joined now by one of the absolute best in the business. It's Scott Van Pelt from ESPN. And Scott, I want to ask you about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. The standard is so high for these guys every single year. It's still the number 13 scoring offense in the NFL, but maybe looking for some more consistency here in this game and the rest of the season. What are your expectations here for the Chiefs offense against the stout Eagles defense?
I expect it to look a whole lot better than it did with cold weather and Patrick battling the flu in their last game. I mean, they're not going to turn it over like that, but that's a one-off. You flush it and you move on. You all have had so few games where he hasn't been able to pull it out of the hat. And I mean, if Hardman doesn't fumble, I was convinced they were going to win the game. Like somehow he's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Didn't happen. I expect on a stage like this, there's a saying I've heard in sports that everyone likes to be noticed, but not everyone's comfortable being watched. I think Patrick Mahomes likes being watched. And that's rare. The best athletes that have their best when the best is required, when all the eyeballs are on him, I expect that. I expect that version of him. And we're still waiting to see who else besides Kelsey really can become the guy, right? And you know, since Hill moves on, you're still like, who's wide receiver one? I really like Rashee Rice. He's shown that he could do it. Sky Moore, you're kind of still waiting, but I just expect that Mahomes will be the Mahomes we are familiar with, that you all have been spoiled by for years. And I think that that's what we'll get. Weather is the great variable, the great equalizer. I hope it's better than it looks like it might be, but I just can't believe it's anything close to what we saw in Denver.
Absolutely. That was one of those things you learn from it, you flush it, and you move on. And I think the Chiefs did that against Miami.
Happens to everybody. It just happens to you so much less than anyone else.
And when it happens, it's surprising, right? But the Chiefs bounce back.
Yeah,
really.
What is this? What is this? Yeah.
But they find ways to bounce back unlike any other team. The other part of this question for you, we talk about Mahomes and Kelsey a lot, but you touched on Rashee Rice for a moment there. Maybe he's your answer. I'm curious for a player and a matchup outside of Mahomes and Kelsey that you'll be watching on the Chiefs offense against this Eagles defense.
I guess it's Philly's they're gonna do everything they can to make 87 not the reason they lose. That would be my guess. You know, it's like in basketball. If there's a guy or a gal that you know is the bucket getter, right? Like if you play Iowa, just say stop Clark. Okay, fun. Good luck with that. Well, same idea. Try to stop Kelsey. Well, if you're gonna double and bracket and a whole bit, well then that means it's got to be Rice maybe. Is an answer. I love Pacheco. I don't think anyone runs more furiously than that man runs. He runs like he thinks he'll get cut if he doesn't get a first down every play, which is tremendous. That level of want to in him is just incredible to watch. But I don't think it's one, Matt. I don't think you beat Philadelphia with one guy. I think it needs to be a collective. And I think that's what makes this so interesting. The other side of the ball and Kansas City's defense against Philly's offense is fascinating in a lot of different levels. But you're asking about the other, and I don't think it's one. I don't think Philly's going to let one guy beat you. And I don't think they're going to let Kelsey be that guy. So the question is, can you get a little bit from everybody that is, you know, one more than Philadelphia has on Monday night?
And that's the beauty, I think, of this offense when it's really firing on all cylinders. You don't know who the guy is going to be. We'll find out here on Monday night in a rematch of Super Bowl 57. Scott, awesome stuff, man. Really appreciate your time.
Look forward to being in Arrowhead. Hopefully we can say hi in person.
All right, awesome stuff there from Scott Van Pelt. We're now joined by one of the greatest players in Chiefs history. It's Donnie Edwards, former linebacker, of course. What's going on, Donnie?
It's going. I'm bringing this nice weather to you guys out here in Kansas City, looks like, huh?
Yeah, not quite, but we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
What a career. It sure is. What a career you had, though, here in Kansas City. 876 tackles over 8 seasons, 5th most in team history. When you're back in this building, what do you think about?
Oh, I think about all the good times, all my teammates, all the memories that we created here, all those wins, you know, all that tough grit that we had here on the field. I mean, and it was a good run. It was a long time, and it was really fun. I mean, this place is my home. Since 1996, when you guys brought me here from UCLA to Kansas City, and this is my home, and I'm so happy to come back towards the end of my career as well.
So awesome to see you, by the way, and love calling your games. Oh man, I'm telling you, it just warms my heart. But how awesome is it for you to see this Chiefs defense? Honestly, the Chiefs defense has not been this good since you played.
Oh, you know, I love that, right? Making plays, and that's what you have to do, right? Someone has to take the onus of making plays. I mean, and that's what you have to do. And I love seeing that, right? The guys are out there having fun, gelling around. I mean, I know everyone focus on the offense, of course, and that's always good. But, you know, the defense is going out there, you know, playing together, making plays. That's what you want.
Obviously a tough task here for them tonight against this Philadelphia offense, just being a defensive guy. What are your keys for the Chiefs defense here tonight to slow down the Eagles?
See ball, get ball. Very simple. See ball, get ball, make plays, and do your assignment, right? So there's going to be a lot of variables in there. There's always things that are happening, right? But you got to just play the game. Do your job. Don't make it bigger than what it is, right? I mean, they've been in the big games before. There's obviously a big game here, but just go out there and do your job. Just calm down, guys, relax, and, at the end of the day, let's play football. That's all we got to do is play football. Simple.
This Chiefs defense has been so versatile. Guys do different things. How much do you look at? You were ahead of your time.
Oh, man.
No, I'm serious.
You know what? I think about that, too.
Do you wish you could play now?
Oh, my God, yeah, because you think about it, like now these linebackers look like me, 6'3", 225 pounds. I mean, I was definitely ahead of my time because back then when I started, guys were like 255. They had the big old shoulder pads playing tackle to tackle, two-gapping, right? And then in 96 when we came in, I mean, me and Ray Lewis and John Mobley and Zach Thomas, we're the linebacker crew that started playing every down, right? We didn't come off the field. If it's third and long, second and long, we stayed on the field on nickel and dime packages, and we're able to, cover wideouts out the, flexed out or running backs out the backfield. You can run with anybody, and also take on the run when needed. I just wish that I was born about 10 years or 15 years later, because I mean, hell, I could have even more interceptions now. The way they're throwing the ball, they don't run the ball anymore, which is great in my book, because I'm not a big guy. I mean, it's kind of challenging when you have all these like running backs and quarterbacks that are bigger than the middle linebacker. I mean, come on, how does that work?
But Matt, he was one of the best coverage linebackers I've ever seen. He could cover anybody on the other team. Just saying. Just saying.
It was fun. A lot of good times, a lot of good memories. I mean, I look at this field right now, and I look at the field, and I know specific plays that happen each and every part of this field, which is so crazy. I can tell you what happened here, what happened there, and 1997 when, you know what I mean? Like, I remember this. It was so vivid. I'm just so happy to be back in Arrowhead. I mean, it's exciting. It really is exciting. I just wish that when we played, we had an electrified offense like this and a quarterback like Mahomes. I mean, franchise player. I mean, golly, it's always, one of those dreams. But, hey, you get what you get, and you got to give all you can give. That's all you can make it, to make it happen. That's it.
Well, what a career you had. But, Mitch, we were talking earlier about his amazing work off the field.
Yeah. It's what you've done with your foundation, what you've done specifically for the World War II veterans, but mainly to have all of us think about them and what they did during World War II. Just fill us in on that, and what you've done even since we've talked to you last.
Yeah, it's been special, actually, because Best Defense Foundation, it started here in Arrowhead. Brenda Sneezik is the one who got us going, making it happen, and said, you got to, give back. You got to make a difference. I never forget the banner right over there, Best Defense Foundation. Fast forward 23 years later, we revamped to take care of our veterans, because obviously I wouldn't be here and have the opportunity to play football, let alone go to UCLA, get a master's degree, and travel the world. I've done 11 USO tours around the world visiting, our troops. And it's because of our troops. It's because of the men and women that serve, that give this kid right here an opportunity to live the American dream. Because of them, I'm able to, live my life, and I just really want to give back. At this point in my career, I have an incredible platform now to serve those who gave this kid an opportunity to live the American dream. And I tell you, we got a great team at the Best Defense Foundation. I mean, 99% volunteers. I mean, people are stepping up, to do what's right. It's about being part of something bigger than yourself. And I tell you, after leaving, football and my team for 30 years, every September I played football for 30 straight years. And to have this recreation of this team with the Best Defense Foundation, being part of something bigger than ourselves, it's just amazing. And the impact that we do for our veteran community, not just our World War II veterans, but, we're doing programs back to Vietnam as well, taking Vietnam veterans back for closure, camaraderie, and going back on different terms. We're going to really, revamp this up next year, which would be exciting. But also, we do a transition program with special forces and also NFL players. We have a lot of similarities, as you know, and this is the third year that we finished. We're running our fourth year now, and just growing this program, which is great because there's so many similarities what we go through. And we retire at a young age, and that transition, sense of purpose, identity, all these things are very challenging when you leave the game. And I don't want any of our brothers to feel like they're by themselves. So we have a whole bunch of programs, benefits, and services available to help these guys to be successful. So I tell you, man, I get excited. You probably hear my passion, but honestly, this is something that's really special that is so dear to me. I never thought that I would go down this path, but when things happen, like my teammate Junior Seau, taking his life when it didn't need to be at the time, if we would have just had this community now, I think things would be much different. But because of him, we have this incredible transition program, Legends community. We just have so many programs to help our players out, and also connecting our military as well to make sure that they're successful when they get out of the service.
Yeah,
wow.
just amazing, amazing stuff, Donnie. I mean, we certainly appreciate it. I know all Chiefs fans appreciate it. It's incredible what you're doing away from the field. So we thank you for that. And my last question for you, then we'll let you go. Speaking of appreciation, you're going to bang the drum here tonight, and the whole crowd's going to see your face and lose their minds and go crazy. What's that moment going to mean to you?
Oh, it's going to be special. It really is. It's so proud. I think I'm so proud to be back here. I mean, this is my home. This is where I started. This is where I finished, And, it's just so exciting to be back here with the Chief fans. I mean, Chiefs Kingdom is back, and I'm banging the drum. And, yeah, and I told some of those veterans out there that are watching this game, I said, you know what, I'm going to throw a salute, and this is for you. And I'm going to put my hand over my heart and just remember each and every one of our service members that serve this great country, that gives us this opportunity to play this game of football.
Yeah, that's just awesome. Well, Donnie, we'll let you go, but thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everything you're doing, and have some fun tonight, okay?
I will. Let's get a win.
Let's get a win.
Let's do it, brother. Let's do it.
Appreciate you, Donnie.
All right.
All right, Mitch.
Wow.
First of all,
how about that?
what an incredible guy.
And just his heart for veterans and how he's dedicated the rest of his life to do what he's doing. He just laid it out there. You can see the passion and hear the passion. He's an amazing person, man. Love that guy.
The Best Defense Foundation, I had a chance to write an article about this a few years ago. What he's doing specifically with the World War II veterans, he is taking veterans that fought in World War II, people that landed at D-Day who are in their 90s, and they'll take them back to Omaha Beach for closure. It's just amazing stuff. So if you want to learn about it, check it out. It's the Best Defense Foundation. Amazing stuff from Donnie Edwards. All right, we just got the inactives. Before we jump into that, though, really quickly, it is discount promo code time. All right, the code this week is Thanks Mitch and Matt. Thanks Mitch and Matt. I did not write this, okay? It's just given to me. Thanks Mitch and Matt. If you say that at checkout at the Pro Shop, you're going to get 10% off your purchase. Now, there are some rules around this, as always. The offer is not valid on game day or the day before. It cannot be stacked with other discounts. It's in-store only. Unfortunately, it does not work online. It excludes memorabilia, Oakleys, Ray-Bans, and sale items. But all the stuff you see us wearing on our shows, we might need some new stuff at this point because we are soaked through.
They'll sell this dry, though, right?
This will be dry in the Pro Shop. It will not be soaked through. Say thanks, Mitch and Matt. When you're checking out, you'll get 10% off your order. All right, Mitch, we just got the inactives. I'll pull them out right now. It's on my phone. I didn't have it out because it's raining.
I heard it buzzing, too.
Here we go. So
it goes behind us.
Here's the inactives, Mitch. So the one that we were watching for the Chiefs was wide receiver Richie James. Of course, with that knee injury, have not seen Richie since week 2. The good news is Richie was activated from injured reserve. So Richie is back. He's just not going to play here tonight. So Richie is inactive here for tonight's game. But good news that Richie James is back in the fold for Kansas City moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see how this integrates and hopefully get Nick Bolton back soon off IR. The biggest news, though, is for Philadelphia because the biggest player missing in this game, both these teams had bye weeks last week, is the tight end we mentioned earlier, and he's significant.
Well, it's Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert not going to play here in this game with a fractured arm. He's out. Very big deal. I mean, he's third on the Eagles in catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Also had 6 receptions for 60 yards in the Super Bowl. Not having Dallas Goedert is a very big deal for this offense.
And again, you can kind of cheat some coverage to A.J. Brown's side. Now, they got Devontae Smith. They got other guys that are receivers, right? But Dallas Goedert is a huge part of this offense, and not having him out here tonight. Plus, he's a very effective blocker. Small-town South Dakota kid.
Yep, Jackrabbit.
Near and dear to my heart, and a South Dakota State Jackrabbit. But Philadelphia will have to compensate without Dallas Goedert. Remember the catch he had in the Super Bowl where Andy Reid even goes, I just kind of stopped and I started clapping like, oh, my gosh, it's such a good play.
But overall, both of these teams are relatively healthy for this time of the year. No Nakobe Dean for Philadelphia. He started the last 3 games for the Eagles at linebacker. He's not going to play. But overall, both of these teams are healthy. And that's what you want. It's the best team in the NFC against the best team in the AFC. We'll close with this. Hopefully, on Chiefs Rewind here in about 4 hours, we're talking about how the Chiefs have the best record in the NFL. For Mitch Holthus, I'm Matt McMullen. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let's go get a victory.